Good evening, and welcome to Nox Historia. Tonight, we travel to the island city of Tenochtitlan, the great city on the lake, at the heart of the world the Aztecs made. Settle in, let the day loosen its hold on you. Find the shape of the bed beneath you, the weight of the blanket, the small warmth your body has already made in the dark. There is nothing you need to do now, nowhere you need to be. Only here, only this, only the slow turning of a night 5 centuries gone. For it is roughly the year 1500, some 500 years before your own night. A generation, perhaps, before the ships of distant Spain will appear off a coast no one here has yet imagined. Tonight, none of that has happened. Tonight, the city stands whole and shining in the middle of its lake, one of the largest cities in all the world. And here is something most people never learn about it. It was cleaner, greener, and better ordered than almost any city then standing in Europe. Its streets were swept, its people bathed, its gardens floated on the water. The old story that this was some small or simple place is simply not true. And tonight, we will walk it gently, in the last blue light, and see. You do not need to remember any of this, not a single name, not one number. Let the words move past you like water under a bridge you are only leaning on. If you drift off before the market closes, before the hearths are banked, before the stars come out over the lake, that is not a failure. That is exactly what this is for. This is a place to fall asleep. Let us begin. Dusk is settling over the valley now, and over the lake at its center, and over the city built upon the lake. From a little rise, you might see the whole of it, a broad, shallow lake, silver going to pewter, and rising from the middle of it, a city of white and pale stone, its low rooftops catching the last of the sun. They call it Tenochtitlan, the place of the stone and cactus, from the old founding story of an eagle seen upon a cactus ages before this evening. The Mexica people made it here. On islands they widened and joined with their own patient hands until the marsh became a metropolis. See how the light lies long and golden across the flat roofs. The tallest shapes at the city's heart are the temples and the palaces, painted and plastered, glowing faintly rose. Around them spread the districts where the people live, thousands upon thousands of them. Perhaps 200,000 souls in the city itself, more than lived in London or Rome or any city the visiting Spaniards would later know. And all of it afloat, or nearly so, on the still bright plate of the water. You do not need to hold the number, only the picture. A white city, a wide, calm lake, the day going soft and warm at its edges. Let us come down now, gently, toward the causeways, the long raised roads of packed earth and stone that reach from the shore out across the shallow water to the city gates. 3 of them, broad enough for many people to walk abreast, straight as drawn lines over the still surface. In the evening, they fill with people coming home. Watch them come. Farmers with empty baskets, their day's produce sold. Porters, their loads lighter now. A woman with a sleeping child bound to her back in a folded cloth. They move without hurry, the way people move when the work is behind them and only supper lies ahead. Along the water beside the causeway, low, flat canoes glide home too, poled slowly through the calm, bringing in the last of the flowers, the last of the maize, sliding toward the little landings without a sound. The lake lies almost perfectly still, holding the pink of the sky, and the canoes seem to travel across the sky itself. There is a smell on the evening air here. Wood smoke beginning to rise from 10,000 hearths and cooking maize and the green, wet smell of the gardens. The gardens are the wonder of this place. Out on the water lie the chinampas, long, narrow plots the people built by piling rich black mud from the lake bed onto woven mats of reeds, anchored with stakes and, in time, with the roots of willow trees planted at their corners. Floating gardens, we sometimes call them, though truly they are rooted now, fixed and fertile. On them grow maize and beans and squash, chilies, tomatoes, bright bunched flowers. So much food that a city of 200,000 can be fed from the surface of its own lake. Let that settle in you softly. A city that grew its supper on the water. Now we pass through the edge of the city and into its lanes, and the light is deepening toward that blue that comes just after sunset. The city is laid out in order, straight streets, and between them the calm canals, so that a household might travel by foot or by little canoe as it pleases. But we will keep to the dry lanes tonight, where the ground is swept and firm, and leave the still canals to hold the last of the light. The market is closing. We are near Tlatelolco now, the great marketplace at the northern end of the Twin City, and even now, at the day's end, it takes the breath. This was the largest market anywhere in that world. On a busy day, tens of thousands of people came here to trade. One of the Spaniards who saw it wrote, amazed, that it was larger and better ordered than the markets of his own great cities, and that a man might stand and watch and never see the like again.
See how they are packing away the day's goods now, unhurried, calling soft farewells across the emptying aisles. Here were sold things past all counting, maize and beans and salt and honey, cotton cloth in every color, sandals and rope and pottery, medicines and dyes, gold and feathers and turquoise, and cacao, the precious bean of the cocoa tree, ground and whisked into a dark, bitter, treasured drink, and used too as money, counted out bean by bean. From that bean, in time, will come the word your own age still uses, chocolate. And from these stalls, the word tomato, and the word chili, and the word avocado, Aztec words, carried across an ocean, still on your tongue this very night. The traders sweep and stack and cover their wares against the dew, and the great square slowly empties, and the quiet comes down over it like a soft cloth laid across a table. We turn away from the market and into the quieter lanes where the ordinary people live. The grand temples are behind us now, their painted heights already going dark against the sky. And around us instead are the homes, low, flat-roofed houses of adobe, of sun-dried mud brick, their walls washed pale, standing close along the swept and narrow ways. The lanes are hushed. A dog lies curled in a doorway. Somewhere a child laughs and is gently shushed. The blue of the sky is going to indigo overhead, and here and there a warm point of light shows in a doorway where a lamp has been lit. The air is cool now and smells of smoke and evening and turned earth. Everything is slowing. The city, for all its size, is settling toward its rest, house by house, lane by lane, the way a great flock of birds settles onto the water for the night. Let us step in through one such doorway, an ordinary family's home, nothing grand. We pass through a low opening into a small courtyard open to the darkening sky, with the rooms of the household set around it. This is how they live, not in one closed box of a house, but around a little open square of their own, a patch of the evening sky held for the family alone. In the corner grows a small tree. Against a wall stand water jars of red clay. A broom leans where it was set down, for these are people who sweep, morning and evening, and count a clean house among the plain good things of life. The courtyard is dim and warm. The last light has gone violet, and the first faint stars are pricking through. A woman crosses the little square with an unhurried step, and from somewhere within comes the low murmur of family voices. The sound a house makes when everyone is home and the day is done. You need do nothing but stand a moment in this courtyard, in the cool blue dark, and breathe. Inside, the hearth. Here is the true heart of the house. 3 stones set in a low ring on the floor, and between them a small fire of dry wood, tended and quiet. The flames are low and orange, and the light of them wavers gently on the pale walls and on the faces gathered near. There is no need for a great blaze, just enough to cook by, enough to hold back the cool of the night, enough to gather around. A clay lamp burns beside the hearth as well, a shallow dish of oil with a floating wick, its small flame steady in gold. In this soft double light, firelight and lamplight, the room is the color of warm honey. Shadows move slow and easy along the walls. A grandmother sits nearest the fire, wrapped in a woven blanket. A man leans against the wall with his eyes half closed. A child sits cross-legged, watching the flames the way children have watched flames since the very first fire was ever lit. The warmth reaches out and touches you too. Feel it on your hands, on your face. Let your shoulders come down. There is nowhere in all the world you need to be but here, by this small fire, on this quiet night, 500 years ago. Now the evening meal. It is plain and good, the same food that fed this whole shining city. Maize, first and always. See the woman lift the flat rounds of dough she has patted between her palms and lay them on a smooth clay griddle set over the coals. Tortillas, we call them by their later name, the warm bread of every table here. She turns them with quick, sure fingers, and they puff and brown and give off that good toasted smell that fills the little room. With them, beans, cooked slow and soft in an earthen pot at the fire's edge. Squash, a sauce of tomatoes and chilies ground together on a stone. Perhaps a little fish or fowl from the lake in the gardens. They eat with their hands, tearing the warm tortillas, dipping and folding, passing the pot. The grandmother served first out of long respect. There is quiet talk, and the small clink of clay, and the soft sounds of a family taking its supper together in the firelight. Simple food, eaten slowly, among people who love one another. Some good things do not change across 500 years. When the meal is done, the grinding begins for tomorrow. The oldest sound of the household, the one that starts before dawn and returns at dusk. The woman kneels before a shaped stone, a smooth slab called the metate, and with a stone roller she works the boiled maize back and forth into soft dough. It is slow, patient labor, done a little each evening so the morning will have bread. The sound of it is low and rhythmic and strangely soothing, stone upon stone. The sound this city made in 100,000 homes at once, every single evening of its life. And as she grinds, the grandmother by the fire begins, softly, to speak. She is telling the children a story, an old one, the kind grandmothers tell everywhere, of how the world was made and remade, of the sun and the moon, of the eagle that showed the people where to build their city on the water long ago. The children lean toward her, half in the firelight, half in the dark. You need not follow the words. only the music of them, an old voice, low and unhurried, telling a young one the shape of the world, while the fire burns down and the stone whispers and the night grows deep outside the door. Near the doorway of the house stands the small household shrine. Every home has one, a little clay figure or two, a dish for a few grains of maize, or a flower, or a curl of sweet-smelling smoke offered in thanks. These people saw the divine in the plain workings of the world, in the rain that watered the chinampas, in the maize that fed them, in the sun that rose and the fire that warmed them. They kept a careful count of days, too, a calendar of great cleverness, wheels of days turning within wheels, marking the seasons for planting and for feast. Tonight the mother pauses at the shrine, sets down a single flower, murmurs a few soft words of thanks for the day that is closing, and turns back to her family. A small gesture, gently made, and then it is done. We know these things, the shrines, the calendar, the stories, the floating gardens, the great market, not from guesswork, but because they were written down and dug up and remembered. The people kept painted books, folded screens of bark paper bright with images, and after the Spanish came, native scribes and elders set down all they could recall of the old life, so that whole libraries of memory survive. Those who first saw the city wrote of its wonders in astonishment. And beneath the streets of modern Mexico City, for a great living city stands upon this very spot even now. The diggers still find the old stones, the old hearths, the old dishes, and so the sleeping city speaks again. You are not imagining this night. It truly was. Now it grows late in the little house. The fire has burned to a low red glow, banked carefully so a few coals will keep till dawn. The lamp is pinched out. In the warm dark, the family makes ready for sleep, not on high beds, but on mats of woven reed unrolled upon the floor, soft blankets of cotton and woven fiber drawn over them against the cool. The children are already heavy-eyed, folded down beside the grandmother. The grinding stone is silent now. The story is finished. One by one they lie down in the dark, and the small sounds of the house grow slower and further apart, and then still. Let us step back out, softly, into the courtyard, and let the family sleep. The night air is cool and clean, and when we look up now, oh, look up. The stars. Above the island city, above the still dark lake, the whole sky is thick and blazing with them. More stars than a modern night could ever show you, for there is no other light here to drown them out. Only 100,000 banked hearths glowing faint and low behind their walls, and above them the great unhurried wheel of heaven. These people watched this sky with care and love. They knew the wanderers among the stars, the risings that told the season, the slow procession of the nights. They laid their calendar against the sky and found it good. And now the same stars that turned above this sleeping city turn, a little changed, above your own roof tonight. The same light, only older, only farther on its way. The city sleeps beneath them, 200,000 people, breathing slow in the dark, on their reed mats, in their swept adobe houses, around their banked warm hearths, ringed by the still black mirror of the lake in the blazing quiet of the stars. A whole world alive and at rest in the last calm years before the great change came. Hold it gently a moment, then let even that go soft. For this city would change in the years after this night, as all things in all cities do. The ships would come, a new age would arrive, and upon these very islands would rise, in time, one of the largest cities on the earth today, Mexico City, roaring and bright, its millions asleep this night atop the sleeping stones of Tenochtitlan. But that is another story for another night, and it does not touch this one. Tonight the white city stands whole in its lake. Tonight the market was vast, and the gardens floated green, and the stars came out, and a grandmother told a story by the fire, and a family lay down in peace. That is enough. That is everything. The people of the island city are asleep now, as you, perhaps, are sleeping now. The fires banked low, the lake gone dark and still, the great sky wheeling over all of it, keeping its slow, ancient count of the nights. So let go of the last of it. Let go of the causeways and the canoes, the market and the maize, the stone and the flower at the little shrine. You do not need to carry any of it. It has kept itself for 500 years without your help, and it will keep a little longer while you rest. Sleep well, and when you are ready to travel again, Nox Historia will be waiting. Good night.